But I also recognize that sometimes we just need to have something outside so it sparks a new idea. So these are just ideas for you to take further. So for worry, book a 10-minute worry appointment. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I know a lot of people book, 10 minutes. Okay, so at 5:20 to 5:30 every day, I'm going to have as much worry as I want. Some people combine it with their walk to transition between work and home, especially while they're at home. So when that worry comes up and you say, oh, there's a worry, you know what? I'll see you at 5:20. The feeling of worry, oh, see it at 5:20. Oh, so you're not stuffing it down. You're putting it to a place where you will deal with it. And when that 5:20 comes, oh, you just let yourself be overwhelmed by all the worry, all the things going wrong, everything that is terrible. And you really own it and feel it and think it. And at 5:30, if you really hold those feelings, you can't hold them that long if you're really holding them. Then anything that comes after that becomes part of tomorrow's. Using your thoughts to find intention in action. We did that today. We used some of our ideas as ways of finding the intent in action. The computer, oh yeah, I should plug it in now, was a way to use my worry effectively. And finally, an awareness assessment sheet. So that's where, if there's a worry that keeps happening and you've done everything with this worry and you can't seem to get rid of it, then you might want to think about, well, why is that worry coming up? So what you do is when the worry comes up, you have a sheet or it's on your computer and you stop and you think, okay, do I know what triggered that worry? What's going on? What do I need to change? Anything you can think of. And you just do that. You keep that for like a week or two. And you will begin to see patterns. And sometimes the patterns are all worry looks like this, or, oh, wow, the worry about the environment outside me looks like this. And the worry that's I have control in looks like this. Worry is more often than not about something we cannot control or have influence. Those are the times where worry is not helpful. So if you're worrying about something and you cannot influence it and you cannot change it, it is worry that is not helpful to you. Doesn't mean you can easily get rid of it, but you can begin to put it in appointments, figure out why it's coming up, begin to engage with it and try and understand it. Stress. Breathe. We've been doing that. So these are all physical things. Move. So some people, yep, I run every morning. That would not be me yet. But some people, that is how and they have to do that to get their stress, to keep their stress level down. Other people find that, you know what, on the hour, every hour, I get up and I stretch because my body will stay in the same position and that will create stress. So whatever it is for moving, we do know that moving helps with stress. That part, undeniable. How you move, that varies. And finally, if you can, lose the comparisons. They're not as stressed as I am. Look at that person. They're dealing with their stress. Great. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. We're creating something in our body that doesn't help us. That comparison never helps. And finally, with anxiety. So anxiety is something that's more of a condition. It's all three of these coming together. And sometimes you need to have a deeper intervention to work with it. Things that can help with it, have some compassion for yourself. So I know that word can be a little woo-woo, so let me tell you what I think of as compassion for yourself. Compassion would be, wow, I got 3 things done today, instead of, oh, look at these 13 I didn't get done. Compassion would be, I'm going to let myself take this minute and enjoy this first bite of a fresh apple that I picked off a tree this morning. I'm going to allow myself to stand on the porch for a minute and just feel the sunshine on my face. Those little teeny times when you can appreciate and enjoy something. There's a meditation where Jon Kabat-Zinn has you take 20 minutes to eat 1 raisin. I'm not quite going that far, though it's a good exercise. Very good, actually. But I am saying if you can note those when you do them, and you note them with your head, your heart, and your physical body. What is it like to take that crunch? What does it feel like to have that sun? If you can note those, then they can help you see there are other ways, other places. Have you have that experience? And that is having compassion for yourself. The final compassion for yourself is we all have an inner critic. Some of us have them, multiple ones. They're quite loud. Some of them, they're not defined. They're just a feeling. And how do we work with that? So for some people, they take the inner critic out and they look at it and they examine it and they get to know it, and that's how they work with it. For me, I work with them inside. I integrate them. I give them new jobs so that they're not criticizing me on stuff that's not helpful. Some people, it's just a feeling they have, and they have to get into that feeling and feel it, get to know it. Whatever it is, understanding that that inner critic is not who you really are, but it can be a part of you and it can be separate. But the self-compassion piece is to either find a place for it. You can give an inner critic a appointment once a day. You can take some time to get to know it. You can take it out of yourself. Whatever helps, that is another part of self-compassion. So bringing that kind of compassion to yourself, looking at what you've done versus what you haven't, enjoying little moments, and getting to know the inner critic so it has less of a big voice are all things that will help in anxiety. Those go along with acknowledging the unconscious. Some of the inner critic is unconscious, and sometimes you just have some unconscious beliefs or thoughts that come in. And you get there by looking at your head, your heart, and your hips. Finally, there is what they call the golden three. Get sufficient sleep. I actually need a little more sleep than most people. I make sure that I try and do that. Get nutritious meals. So this is less about take out the stuff that you're eating for stress eating. Just make sure you add in nutritious meals. It's a little easier to do it that way. In time, you might take out some of that stress eating, but the adding in and making sure that you're getting enough nutrition is important. And move your body as often for whatever it is that you would like to move it. So there are some specific pieces around taking action with worry, stress, and anxiety.